she heard him knocking on the door, and Teresa said, I heard her say, oh, he's here. And that's when he started knocking on the door. He busted down the door, got into a fight with Dwight, said, Leslie, come out here or I'm going to kill Dwight. So she came out never thinking that Mark would hurt her.
So he had a gun?
He had a gun.
Oh, yeah, he had a gun. And he'd already broken in the wall.
Gotcha.
The door.
Welcome to Creepalachia. We have a somber episode, but it's going to be an overall beautiful episode because we get to hear about the life of Leslie Marty and who she was as a person from the people who knew her best, her mother, Mary, and sister, Angela. Thank y'all for being here.
Thank you for inviting us.
Yeah. So let's do some introductions. We'll start with you, Mama. Mary, tell me about yourself.
Yes.
Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Wood County, West Virginia, on a farm. We just called it in the country. And my dad and mom had 160 acres. I did everything. And my favorite things was doing something outside.
Oh, nice. 160 acres.
Yeah.
Was it like farmland or
farmland?
Wow.
Yeah, he called it a what do you call it? Something like a little
house in the prairie.
Not really that. I think it was, just our home.
Yeah.
And I think it's the first home that he ever owned.
Okay.
And before that, he was, his mom died when he was a toddler.
Oh.
And so he was raised by lots of different aunts and uncles mainly, in addition to some time with his dad. And so he was a pretty smart guy.
Yeah.
And so, he taught us everything we knew.
You had to know a lot of I feel like you don't have to know as much now with technology. Back then you had to know like literally everything, like how to hunt, how to, how to not freeze in the winter.
Yeah.
All of that.
Right. And he knew how to, and to raise cows and pigs and chickens, and we even had a lamb. We started out with horses. And
did you ride horses?
I was about this big.
Right.
My dad would be working with the horses, and I'd be down there crawling around under their feet. That was
how cool.
Yeah. So that's basically where I started from. My mom was, she had a large family. I think there was like 9 kids or something. She was one of 9.
Oh, nice.
And so, yeah.
They used to have them by the baker's dozen back then. Like my grandma has a lot of siblings. How many did you have siblings?
I do.
You do?
7.
7.
Yeah.
Nice.
My mom had 7 kids.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Big family reunion?
Well, and there was no family reunion. It was just, we went to grandma's.
Right.
Yeah. You didn't have to have a family reunion. It was, on the weekends, everybody just showed up. So.
How cool.
Yeah.
So, typical Appalachian life. I love Wood County, too. It's a beautiful place.
It is.
Yeah. So, you live in Zanesville now, Ohio.
I do. Yes, I live in Zanesville. I'm pretty sure this is the last place I'm going to live.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think you got at least 40 more years. Let's go.
Well, I got maybe 10.
Maybe 10?
Yeah.
The women in her side of the family live to be in their 90s.
Oh, nice.
So I'm probably I'm comfortable to say that I'm going to have my mom around for at least another 10 years.
Oh. Well, you look beautiful, and you're It seemed like you're getting around well. So whatever you're doing, you need to write a book and tell other people how to do it because it don't always happen that way. But all right, so we'll get into your motherhood with you in a second. Let's introduce. So for those who don't know, so Leslie Marty basically was unfortunately murdered in 1983, and she her body wasn't found until 35 years later, when the perpetrator who was convicted actually told you all where she was. And that's kind of, we're going to walk into that in a minute, but I was telling them beforehand, these episodes are really important for me to memorialize the victims and who they were. So there will be a really detailed account of who Leslie was. Because, looking at all the pictures, it just looks like she had a bright personality, and you can only, but hearing from you all, we get to actually know. So that leads me to you, Angela. Tell me about yourself.
Let's see here. I'm a nurse by profession. I'm married, have one daughter and a stepdaughter and stepson and 4 grandsons.
And you were how old when Leslie disappeared?
I was 13.
You was 13. Okay. So you were old enough to have a relationship and to have a lot of memories of her.
Well, she was 7 years older than me, so we were just starting to have a relationship. I was the annoying little sister. And I think I was probably still the annoying little sister at that point in time, too. But yeah.
Perfect. Well, I was the annoying little brother.
Yeah.
So I know that role very well.
Yeah.
So, all right, Mom. So tell me about motherhood. When did you first decide, or when did you find out about Leslie? Do you remember where you were?
I was, yes, I was an accountant, and I was at the office. I was at my, working, and I had different clients that I did work for, and one of them involved doing a payroll for them every week. And I got the phone call. No, that's a different phone call. Where was I?
So is
on
this
that one? Oh, that one. Yeah, I came home and she wasn't at home. And I just really didn't know what happened to her. I know there had been talk that she was going to be going with Mark again to Las Vegas.
Right.
And so I just thought maybe that's where she had gone to. But then the next morning when I got up, I looked out on the front porch and I saw Leslie's clothes there. Her shoes and everything was just on the front porch. And I thought, where'd those come from? And it was just a puzzle for me. And so then I was talking to Dwight, or was it you? And I found out that what had happened, and I thought, these kids, to be faced with that sort of thing. And so then I got a phone call from, after a while, I got a phone call from Mark's mother, and she asked if I'd heard from Mark, if I knew where he was. She didn't say anything about Leslie. And I said, no, I haven't heard anything. Well, if you do, don't tell anybody. It was all secret-y. Yeah.
And we'll walk into the events of there. I kind of want to set up who Leslie was as, what her personality was as a child.
Okay.
No, it's okay. That's totally fine. All that's important too.
Yeah.
So I was just curious, when you found out you were pregnant with Leslie, do you remember how you felt at that time?
It was just, it just didn't seem like it was anything, out of the ordinary. Because in my family, there were kids everywhere.
Right.
Okay, so kids.
Just another one. Come on
that's
in.
a kid, right? Yeah, I'm another baby factory.
Yeah. Perfect.
So, yeah, so basically that's the way that was. And then when she was, let's see, when my youngest brother found out, he was still at home at the time. When he found out that I was pregnant, he says, "Oh, there's going to be another one," and he wouldn't be the baby anymore.
Right.
Okay, and so then after,
So how many siblings are there
her
total?
favorite,
Just us.
Just you two?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And there's not a brother?
That's my nephew.
Your nephew. Got it.
yeah,
Okay.
that's Leslie's.
Got it.
son.
Yeah, there was confusion in the reporting because, I mean, I guess just of the age, and then there was confusion. People thought that my daughter was her granddaughter, but it was really her niece.
Mm.
So yeah,
Okay. Well, in their defense, there's like 63 in the family tree. So
exactly.
Okay,
It's not a tree; it's
I'm
a bush.
I got you. Yeah.
It's a big oak tree.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So we were pretty close. You know, like I said, weekend came and we'd go to the country. That's what we called it, the country, and
Yeah.
everybody knew where we were going, to Mother's and Dad's house, and so there would be my youngest brother and my next to the youngest brother. And Leslie and Jim were just like peas in a pod.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was just one of her idols. She looked up to him, and no, he couldn't do anything wrong.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was one of those guys that could talk anybody into doing anything. You know how silly it was. Say, how about after you get off work Friday evening after working all week, let's drive to Colorado. I said, sure.
Why not? It sounds like a great idea.
that's the kind of guy he was.
Sure.
So it doesn't fit in with any of this, but
No, yeah, no, this is, I love this. I love hearing
we're
about
just
the
a
family.
very tight family.
Very tight. Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
tight.
What would you all do growing up, Angela? You remember anything particular, or
Well, I mean,
just
like,
try not to, beat each other?
oh my gosh, I remember. Well, Mom would tell me what, her remembering, and I would be, wanting to be with my sister. She's 7 years older, the most beautiful woman you've ever seen, olive complexion, dark hair, beautiful eyes, just model figure. And I just wanted to be her. I wanted to be with her all the time. And I remember my mom saying that she would tell me to go play in traffic.
Leslie would.
Yeah,
she was just joking.
Good jokester.
About that.
And one of the most vivid memories that I have is, I told you that we just were starting to get closer.
Mm-hmm.
She took me roller skating, and I was 13, she was like 19, maybe 19, 20 at the time. And she could skate backwards and do spins and, I don't know if you've ever been roller skating, but you would cross your hands and then spin in the middle,
Mm-hmm.
or she would take me around the corners and whip me around the corners going really fast. And that's just, I think that was kind of like a turning point in our relationship, where she realized, that I was becoming a teenager, that I wasn't an annoying little sister. I may have been an annoying teenage sister.
Right.
And then
It's like, oh, we can hang out.
And then she was gone.
Yeah, when you got
when we started to be close. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's something funny though, or when Leslie was little, my mom was her favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, she would just like to go out to the country, be with grandma, and they would just do all the kinds of things around, grandma stuff.
Sure.
And she just loved it. And mother said that my dad he would get jealous because it was all Leslie and my mother, and he was being left out.
Mm-hmm.
Then somebody else came along, and the shoe was on the other foot.
Right.
That's Grandpa's girl.
Yeah. I mean, she would go out to the shop, and he would be welding, making something, and he'd say, okay, now you got to turn around and close your eyes because I'm going to turn on the welder. And, I mean, that's,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they were buddies like that.
Sure. Yeah.
I sat in the shop and I would look at the back wall, and I don't know if you've ever been around welding, but you see lights.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you're back to it and, you've got a white building, aluminum building. And I knew once all those colors stopped, I could turn around and go back.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I've been around welding a few times now. As far as being a welder, I'm completely useless, but I can watch people do stuff
Oh, sure.
all day.
Yeah.
And you was talking about skating. I remember you were the coolest if you could skate backwards.
Oh, yeah. She taught me how to skate
yeah.
backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How cool.
Mhm.
Yeah.
At least I got, she taught me how to skate backwards and do spins and all that stuff. So
She never got to teach you how to ski, though.
she never got to teach me how to stop.
Right.
That's when you just kind of slow down and brace when you hit the wall.
Sure.
So.
Yeah. And I got a picture of Leslie up here so people
Yeah.
can see.
Mhm.
What year was this picture? This is the main one you usually see.
That was right after she had my nephew.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
she still got the pregnant mama face and build. But I mean, she was actually in a Tropicana swimsuit model contest.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And she came in second. The girl that came in first wore a 2-piece, and my sister wore a 1-piece because
That's cheating.
exactly.
Come
She
on.
said 2-piece is cheating. So
Right.
yeah.
Well, so did she go to college or anything, or like what did she do for a living? I'm just curious.
Well, it's what she wanted to do. As soon as she got old enough, she had this idea that she wanted to go work in the lounge,
Mm-hmm.
serving drinks and that sort of thing. She wanted to be a waitress,
Sure.
and so that's what she did. And she waited until she was of age so she could do that, and so that's where she started her work.
Gotcha. Yeah, my mom worked Bob Evans for 9 years when I was a kid.
Yeah,
That's the hardest job.
it is
Yeah.
hard.
And plus, they're like, okay, your minimum wage is way less than everyone
Like
else's. and you gotta-
$2.19 an hour when I was in nursing school. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, which is crazy. And then you got to leave off your tips, and then they tax those too. It's a good time.
Mm.
So, she's a waitress,
Yeah,
and your nephew's name,
Joey. We called him Joey.
Baby Joey comes along. What year was that?
Let's see. Okay, 63, 70, 63, 69, 78.
Okay.
I always remember the years
Yeah.
that they were born, and then I don't have to remember anything else because I can do math.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, good job. I mean, you're saying you're an accountant, which, I just hired my first one this year. I'm very excited. So it's an important job.
It is.
I can imagine back then I don't even know if we had the Texas Instrument calculators yet. I don't know. What did you have to work with? Pen and paper?
No, she had an adding machine.
Oh, okay.
I think it was a Texas Instrument that I had. Yes, and before that, when I was married to the girl's dad,
Mhm.
we lived in Memphis, and that's before you, though.
Mm-hmm.
And I worked for a company there, and it was so odd what they adding up the columns of numbers.
Right.
They had this machine that their calculator that they used had rows of numbers, all across. It was about this big, and you had to push a certain number in order to do your calculation.
Right.
And I remember that machine. There was one number that did not work, but I'm so happy to have the calculators that we have now.
Sure, yeah. All technology is crazy now. All right, so I'm going to come at this as someone who's never heard the story before, and we're just going to kind of lay things out there. So, Leslie, when did she first get into this relationship? How far back does the relationship go?
Did you say it was?
They were
the court transcripts say a year.
I think it was only about. I would think it was only about a year. We were, when she met him. Remember, I was putting the new basement under the house.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
And so, you and I, we stayed out in the country.
Yeah, they actually had to jack our house up to put in a new foundation. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a big operation. So we're talking about Mark Hanna.
Yes.
Who is...
And it was only about... It was only...
And that was over the winter. When we were...
Joey, I think Joey must have been about 3 years old.
Yeah.
At the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so...
Gotcha. So her and Mark got together, and then she kind of said, hey, I'm dating this guy.
Yeah, then she switched jobs to work for him or maybe she worked for him.
She was already working. She was working, and then she met him. That's how she met him.
Yeah, she did work at the Frontier for a while.
Yeah, the lounge.
And that's he actually owned it.
Gotcha.
And he owned several businesses in that little area.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And he owned some of them in partnership. Mm-hmm. And
I remember there was a bookstore, apartments above it.
His dad was he was no good.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay. He didn't have a good reputation.
Had a personality.
He didn't have a good reputation in Parkersburg.
No, we'll just put that way. I think he got run out of Williamstown as far as business wise, even though he lived there. And but the way Mark was raised was, going around with his dad to all these seedy places.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And Parkersburg, was it essentially like it is now? Or was it, kind of up and coming, or pretty populated?
It was pretty populated.
It was more populated at that time. Mm-hmm. We had DuPont, we had
Borg Warner,
Marbon, Borg Warner,
Shell
Chemical. Yeah, those were big employers at the time.
Yeah, you had the Forever Chemicals they were dumping in the river.
Oh my goodness, that's awful.
Yeah, it was. So I guess you lived through that, right? Well, I mean, y'all lived there through that.
Yeah.
Okay, so that kind of sets the scene. So she meets this guy at work who's her employer. They start seeing each other.
Exactly.
She brings it up to you. Did you ever meet Mark?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What was your impression early on?
In the beginning, I liked him. He was very attentive. He would give her flowers and dote on her. And then I don't know when it happened, but there was an incident where it really creeped me out. He was going to go get McDonald's. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, and he asked me if I wanted anything, I'm like, sure. And he goes, well, you have to go with me. And that just creeped me out. I'm 13 years old, and this guy is saying that I have to go somewhere with him.
You had an excellent radar because you should have been creeped out.
Yeah. And that's when it just kind of turned, and then he's like, one thing I remember is he's red hair, very fair complected, and Sissy was, this olive skin, Tandy, loved the outdoors, anything outdoors. And he went to play tennis with her, and he got sun poisoning, and she nursed him back to health. And I forget where I was going with that.
No,
in the beginning, and it was just all about Sissy. And then the argument started. He pushed her out of the moving vehicle in front of our house. She wound up having to go to the hospital for that. She wanted to stop seeing him, and he came and pounded on my bedroom window one night to get into the house. And I told Mom, I said, they were dating at the time. I was 13 years old. I didn't know the inner workings of their relationship. I didn't know that she didn't want to see him anymore. And I just thought he got locked out and he needed back in the house because he would stay over occasionally. And then the next morning she told me, that please don't let him in anymore. I don't want to see him anymore. And then a couple days later, she was gone.
Yeah, it's hard for me to keep things in order yet.
Sure, yeah. It's still hard. I could only imagine. Was your first impression of Mark kind of the same thing? Like, well, he seems okay, and then it kind of... Or was you really on guard the whole time?
Well, I knew fully of his father's reputation. Mm-hmm. And so I wasn't as excited about the relationship. But the way it generally goes with mother-daughter relationships is... I don't want you to see him. I don't like him. I don't like his reputation. I couldn't say those things.
Because she'll blow up and then y'all won't talk and there'll be a whole thing.
Then she would be gone and she would be with him forever. So I just tried to wait and see what happened with it. And he never impressed me that much. He impressed her.
I was 13. There was a boy giving my sister flowers.
Sure.
Yeah.
And sometimes as parents, we are a little too guarded, but it sounds like you had the right idea from the jump of because for instance, my father's a jerk. I like to think I'm a pretty good dude.
Yeah.
So I try to not let people's parents affect my decision of who they are. But at the same time, you can kind of catch a vibe pretty early.
Yeah, and even with the things that Mark Hanna did business-wise, you would think, it just wasn't.
What kind of businesses did he have?
He had the lounge, and I had heard that he brought in out-of-town strippers for his bar.
Well, that was a different one. He had an adult bookstore. He had the Frontier Lounge, an adult bookstore, apartments above it, and then he opened what was called the Executives Club, and that's where he brought the strippers in.
Gotcha.
Okay, and then, is that the one?
And that's the one that burned down.
Okay,
and they thought maybe there was arson involved in it.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, literally, the police asked me if I thought he burned it down for the money.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that definitely gives you some pause
to bring those things up.
No, that's important. I mean, because that stuff does give you pause. I mean, I'm sure there's some good stripper owners out there somewhere, but at the same time, as a mother, you're like, I don't know if I want my daughter to kind of be involved in that world. Yeah, I get it.
How do I handle it? And apparently, I didn't.
Oh,
well,
and
it's not your fault at all first, but
we had this discussion. I said, she was a teenager, Mom. Mm-hmm. I said, she was trying to find her way and you did nothing wrong. I mean, the parenting that she gave my sister was totally different than the parenting she gave me because we're two totally different people.
Yeah.
My sister, by golly, she was a firecracker.
Right.
There's no other way, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and me, I was at that age, I mean, I was very backward and shy and timid. And
Yep.
Sissy was not.
Well,
No, she wasn't.
and there's a commonality on domestic cases like this of the women being very strong-minded, independent women, and then you get a narcissist scumbag piece of crap that feels threatened and
Beat you down.
Yeah, exactly. So it's the scumbag's fault. It's no one else's but the narcissist that's in jail right now. So, but I mean, I could only imagine how you feel, because especially if you had the radar of it, but like, I don't know, but at the same time, you're wanting her to live her life, and you want to just be there for her and not, because I mean, a lot of people will wreck their relationship with their parent to be with, this other person.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah. You're
well,
trying to protect
the offender drives a wedge between you and your family and your friends to get you isolated.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And even though it's been a year, how old was she?
She was 9. No, she was
20.
She was 20
when she was kidnapped and murdered.
Mm-hmm.
She was 20.
Okay, so they met when she was 19.
Yeah.
Ish.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So they're living life. You start to see problems. You start to notice it at 13, which is, it had to have been pretty evident. Take me to that specific day, and let's kind of walk through the details as much as you remember.
I can go first because I was at home.
You go first. You were at home.
I was at home.
I was at the office.
Yeah, she was at work.
Yeah, Angela, if you want to walk us through it, and then you can add color commentary as we go, and then we'll just see where we get with it.
Okay, so Sissy told me that she was going to go water skiing with her friend Dwight. They were not dating at the time. I want to get that out there. My sister was not dating 2 men at the same time. She was dating Mark. She wanted to break it off with him because he had become abusive, and he didn't want her to have any friends, let alone a guy friend. And so she told me, I'm going to go water skiing with Dwight, but as far as Mark knows, I'm going to go water skiing with Mr. Butcher's, a friend of the family, his niece. And so she said, I'm going to go over to Mr. Butcher's house, and Dwight's going to pick me up there. So, and I was watching Joey. I started basketball camp that next couple days, like on a Monday or Tuesday. And I think it was like maybe a Saturday or Friday or something. Is that Saturday? And so, and I said, okay. So I remember seeing her walking down the street, the windows in our house, there was a corner window, and one of them you could see down the street. So I remember seeing her walk down the street, going towards Mr. Butcher's house, which is maybe 3 blocks.
You had to go down to.
It was like 3 blocks away.
This way, turn this way, and then this way, and you were right there.
But we took a shortcut through people's yards. Yeah. We did. She didn't go to the streets. You just walk straight down that way. So it was like maybe 3 blocks away. And so Dwight picked her up there. From what I know now, they went water skiing, and they had come back, I believe, from water skiing. And they were going to get something to eat. And then Mark came knocking at the door. And then obviously the rest is just what we know from, the court records. He went knocking on the door. She ran into the telephone and was talking she was talking on the phone to her best friend, Teresa. And she heard him knocking on the door. And Teresa said, I heard her say, oh, he's here. Mm-hmm. And that's when he started knocking on the door. He busted down the door, got into a fight with Dwight, said, Leslie, come out here or I'm going to kill Dwight. So she came out never thinking that Mark would hurt her.
So he had a gun?
He had a gun.
Oh, yeah, he had a gun. And he'd already broken in the wall.
Gotcha.
I mean, the door.
And Dwight, did he testify to this? Or
yes.
Okay, mm-hmm. So he told the police this. Got it.
Yeah, and then the next day, the reason why the clothes were on the front porch is because Dwight dropped them off just thinking that Sissy was home. You know, you didn't have cell phones back then. You know, it's not like you could call and talk to somebody. He just came and dropped the stuff off at on the porch. And then the next day.
Who did? Is this to clarify?
Dwight, not Dwight. Because when she left, all she had on was her bathing suit.
Right.
Her 2-piece bathing suit.
Mm-hmm.
And she left her clothes there, her shoes, her wallet, her purse, everything. She walked out barefoot and in a bathing suit.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. So this all happens. I'm assuming Dwight went to the police.
No, actually, he contacted Mom first.
Got it.
And we just didn't know what to do. We didn't know. We just didn't know. So we just kind of waited.
Well, we just figured that they went to Vegas.
She would be. We thought maybe she'd just gone to Vegas again, on vacation again.
Had they went before to Vegas?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then Mark showed up and Sissy didn't.
Where did he show up at?
Back in town.
Back in town.
So he just showed up and was like, all right, let me open the lounge, and went back to his normal life?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like nothing happened?
Yeah.
Nothing happened. Yep.
Yeah. And his story was that she just
one of his stories.
Yeah, one of his stories. His story was that they had driven over to Ohio, to Columbus, and stayed at a motel overnight there. And then when he got up, she was gone and all of his money was gone.
So he's trying to say that they stayed together and then she robbed him and left.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then another story was he took her to Florida and they were there, and that's when she took his money and left. So it was like every time the wind blew, the story changed.
Different story.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming after that, y'all got law enforcement involved?
I think it was like maybe 2 or 3 days before you and Dwight decided we need to call the police, because she always called home. I mean, she would get mad and she would run off.
I think we kind of waited for a week or so.
Okay.
And then really what just blew my mind is when Mark's mother called and said, have you heard from Mark? And then she said, oh, if you do, don't tell anybody. Because at that time, the insurance companies were after him to get money back from that building that burned. And they had already paid him out money, which he had already spent. And, and other things going on.
Was that building ruled arson? Or
they were suspecting of it, and one of the stories that we had heard was that Sissy had told one of her friends, I'm not going to name the names, but that he burned it down and she's going to turn him in.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and
then he killed her because of that.
A long time I kind of thought maybe that's what it was all about, but I really think he just didn't want anybody else to have.
Got his feelings hurt, and he's decided.
He's just
nobody's I'm gonna show her.
He's a narcissist.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
The prosecuting the prosecuting attorney's office said that he's a sociopath.
Oh yes, he's all the things.
They said that to me more than once, because we had said, different things of, just tell us where she is. Mm-hmm. And they said he'll never tell you because he has that power. That's the power he has.
Did he use people against each other? Like, was he manipulative and stuff like that? Or?
Yeah, he had written me. Well, I had received a card in the mail, and it was after he was in prison. And it was supposed to have been from somebody in New York that had written the letter, on the postcard, one of the things,
I remember
you
that.
play
I
a
was
lot of
with-
It
I
games.
just lies. It
Right.
just-
Yeah, I remember this. I was 19 years old, and this man tortured us for 35 years. He would write my mom letters saying, if you go before the parole board and tell them to let me out, I will give you $100,000 and I will tell you where your daughter is.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and already by that time, his mom had already spent all of her money in defending him.
Really?
Oh, yeah. And he would
But
say,
he would never admit like he
Oh,
did
no.
it. He just.
oh, no, he would
eventually
say,
said-
I would tell you where your daughter
Yeah.
is.
And
Yeah.
then he would turn around and say, I don't know.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's this dark triad of personality. It's like Machiavellianism, narcissism, and sociopath. It's
And Scum of the earth.
scum of the earth. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
one of them
Yeah.
for sure.
You sure learned a lot in those few days in college.
I just repeat stuff. Yeah, I was telling him. She said, "Oh, did you learn it? Did you go to WVU or Marshall?" I said, "I went to Bluefield State for 3 weeks. Got my Pell Grant. and
You're
then I
a
was-
quick study.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. I had to let everyone else get all the good grades. I didn't want to show everyone up.
Yeah.
So I had to leave and,
Mhm.
give them the
Right.
good opportunities. But, and, of course, when I laugh, it's about at this point, I'm
It's
sure you have to
laugh or
laugh
cry.
Yep, laugh
Yeah.
or cry at this point. So
Yeah.
I don't mean any disrespect
No.
at all.
Mm-mm.
So, all
You're
right.
talking to a nurse. We have dark senses of humor.
Oh, I found out some of the best episodes are medical episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Like they just come on and tell me all this crazy stuff, and we get into
Mhm.
smells. It's like a whole thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. You don't realize how many smells there are
yeah.
until you become a nurse.
We'll have to get into that.
Yeah.
So Mark has given these kind of lack of a better acronym, BS, explanations. And what investigator got involved early? Do you remember?
Detective Neal and Spellacy
Mhm.
are the ones that I remember. And then the prosecuting attorney, Harry Ditzler, who is one of 3 people that we owe everything to. Harry Ditzler,
Mm-hmm.
Kenny Bass,
Mm-hmm.
and then Governor Jim Justice. If one of those 3 was not in the picture, we would not have my sister back.
Yeah, and Kenny is the reporter that
And,
broke the story later on,
Right,
which we'll
yep,
get into,
yep.
and Governor Justice. So, and I've ran into this law. There's a law that you can't interview people behind bars. Like media just can't have
Right.
access.
Yeah.
And Governor Justice actually allowed the interview
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
with
He
Kenny.
fixed that in one phone call.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
is
And that was
which is
just
great.
after, it was
That was
probably within a year after he had been down there in the
no, that wasn't. That was
hollers of
within.
West Virginia, searching for this little girl.
No, actually, it was within days or weeks because
Oh.
he was okay.
He
So
was
what
wrong.
happened? What happened was Kenny Bass was covering the floods in southern West Virginia, White Sulphur Springs area, and Governor Justice was talking about this one little girl that got swept away. She was the only person that hadn't been recovered. And he said I just want to walk the banks and find her so her family can have closure. So afterwards, Kenny Bass went up and said, you're talking about closure about a little girl who's been missing for 2 weeks, and your corrections, your prison officials are keeping that closure away from a family that's been, are stopping a family from getting closure that have been waiting 35 years. So Kenny told him the story, and he said, Governor Justice just looked at him and says, well, that'll be fixed tomorrow.
Yeah.
And by golly, the next day he got a phone call.
That's great. That's how it should work.
Yeah. Isn't that something?
Yeah, it's great.
And it was just Kenny Bass and his photographer, came to my house in Belpre, and interviewed us right there in my house.
How nice. Yeah.
And unfortunately, he passed away from cancer not too long
Kenny
ago.
did?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
And I told my mom, I said, Sissy was the first one there to greet him.
Mm.
I know she gave him the biggest hug.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Yeah. And so basically what occurred during that interview is Mark sat down and nailed the exact location
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
where
Mm-hmm.
you could find Leslie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then they ended up going and doing an excavation. I can't remember how big. It was like 30 by 80 or something. And found her.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
actually,
Isn't that amazing?
there's a little bit more of a story to that
Sure.
outsiders don't know. They had been digging for hours, and they said, okay, we're going to break for lunch, come back, and we're going to give it one more try, another hour, and then we're done, because they didn't believe that he would tell them where she was. And so they had an expert come in, a topography expert, and they said that he could tell by looking at the land where people were buried. They said he laid down belly down onto the ground, put his ear to the ground, and looked and said, she's right there.
And that's where she was?
That's where she was.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep. And it is in a family park at a chemical plant in Belpre, and she was buried like within 6 feet of a sidewalk and in the playground area with the kids.
I don't know how
They said
how in the world can one guy
Mm-hmm.
dig a hole over 6 foot deep, the size to bury a body in, and nobody recognize it.
Well,
Was it like 3 a.m?
From what we were told was it was a cornfield at the time.
Oh, okay.
And it's along the banks of the Ohio River. The type of soil is a very sandy soil. And at the time, Mark said that he was high on cocaine. So they said that, just a guy high on cocaine, sandy soil, it would not be very difficult for him to dig that just because of the drugs that were in his system.
This is crazy. So what you mean by the sidewalk is there was an active build
No, well,
that happened after?
After, yeah, they built a playground there.
Wow.
And they said if they would have dug for the sidewalk just a few feet, I can't remember if it was to the right or to the left or what, but with all the playground equipment, they were surprised that they didn't find her before. It was just she was buried just in the right spot where nothing would have been buried.
So he said he was
Or
high on
built.
cocaine. Has he ever officially admitted, like, yeah, I did it? Or is it just,
No,
he just said,
just-
oh, I just know where she is?
No,
No, he's-
What did he tell Kenny? Like, I just know, like, that's where they said she was.
he had his lawyer there with him.
Mhm.
So, and he told Kenny where she was, and the lawyer made sure that was the only thing that was discussed. Because Kenny said, why did you do it? And the lawyer said, nope, that's not what we're here for.
Well, I mean,
But I mean,
case closed.
Case closed. I mean, we have her. That's all that matters. And he can die, and they can bury him in the footers of that prison for all I care.
Yeah. So why did he do it? Was he trying to leverage something? Was he trying to, or did he find religion? Or
I don't know.
I don't think so. Harry said that every time he and Mark had written all through the years, and Harry said that every time he talked, he wrote to Mark, he would tell him to
allow
us to have some closure.
and so Sissy could have a Christian burial.
Yeah.
And those were his exact words
Right,
when he
because
that's why he
Mark
wanted to do it.
Mark was getting into reading the Bible, and that I don't know, how deeply or he was fixed into it, but
Prison religion.
And listen, I don't want to judge anyone's religious path. I have my own.
And I was going to get ready to say that. That was not nice of me to say. He could very well.
It's kind of common though.
Yeah.
Like they find, but
it's a come to Jesus meeting. Honestly,
Sure.
It does. You're sitting in prison, in a cell, and all you can do is reflect about what brought you to this situation.
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or what do you think you can do to get out of it?
Well, there's this other case we're working on, and I won't say the name, but we've done an episode on this, and he found religion, and he still ain't admitted it yet. And the case hasn't been tried yet. And I'm just like, listen, I ain't the judge at all.
Right. Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure the first check mark they're going to hit if you get to the gates is, is he a murderer? Okay. Well, so I'm hoping that person admits it. And then we find closure for this other family that we're working on because that seems to be a usual thing. So that's all they basically talked about was like.
That's all.
Exactly.
That's all his
they let him talk
lawyer.
about.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
His lawyer kept it very.
Yeah. The maps and he marked
very focused. Yeah.
He's ran out of appeals, right?
No, he's still he has one more habeas corpus. Habeas, is that a habeas corpus left? And he's had that one for a very long time, and it's like he's dragging it out, and I'm just like, dude, you told us where she was. It's obvious you did it.
And he's saying, no, in this habeas, he's saying that he's innocent.
And it's like, dude, just stop.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. And we kind of fast forwarded there because I do want to step back a little bit and go through your initial thoughts when you realized, like, is there a certain point in time where you realized that Leslie wasn't coming back? Or do you remember having that specific feeling, or did you hold on to hope as long as you possibly could?
I was hoping all along.
Yeah.
I was such a basket case. I would, I was in public practice, and I would go to work, and I'd just sit there. I would just sit there. And if a pencil light broke, that was my day.
Mm-hmm. It was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
You would get frustrated pretty easily.
I just couldn't focus at all.
Yeah.
And as far as time going by, I don't think I ever really got past it. I don't think I've really gotten past not having her, not hearing her say mom, even to this day.
Mm-hmm.
It was such a relief. I think there was a pressure off of me when she was found, and through the process of doing the funeral and having people come and share with us, her presence at the funeral, that helped me, and it helped me a lot. But I still get to the point where I'll just get
sure, it's overwhelming.
Yeah, grief. It's not. As I said, I'm from a big family, and fortunately, there weren't very many instances where a parent had to lose their child. That wasn't the way it went. We were, in our family, it was your parents, your grandparents, great-grandparents. I even had great-grandparents. And you remember their funerals. And you learn to accept that the people that you would go see are no longer here because they got old and they died.
Yeah.
But it's the wrong way around for it to be the other way.
So needless to say, I mean, this was the most traumatic thing to ever happen in your all's family, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Right. I had to really sit on my brother, the one that would do anything,
Sure.
and my dad, because they wanted to go out there with their weapons and hunt him down.
Sure.
And I says, I've already lost one. I can't lose another one. And so I think that kind of
That's understandable.
sunk in with them.
Yeah. Yeah, that's typical West Virginia move is like,
Mm-hmm.
When something happens like this, we just are like, well, okay, justice is going to be in our hands. And then you got to hold yourself back because it's not lawful to do that. And, you got to kind of walk them back. But also it's dangerous. And, but at the same time, I understand that inclination.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because of
You've wronged
things taking 35 years.
You've wronged our family. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I could only imagine.
Yeah.
How did you start to cope with it?
I was just telling Mom, we had a calendar in our house, and we would write down, I wrote down basketball camp starting, and we had written down, when Sissy went to Vegas, things that were happening in our household, we had it written down on there. And it was a few days once we realized that something was wrong, I went back and I did a frown on the day that we didn't see her. And that was, I think, was it July 1st? Was the first.
It would have been Sunday.
Yeah. And a frown for every day where she was gone. And I told Mom, I said, I think I can continue that through the end of the year. But then through that whole calendar, and then when the next calendar came up, I just didn't follow it through. And I'm sorry, I'm just
you're having trouble too.
Yeah, it's just hard to remember. I mean, I remember Joey being so upset, and he would say, if Mommy comes back, I promise I'll never be bad again. A 4-year-old saying this, and I felt guilty because I let Mark in. I let him back in the house that night. And Mom's feeling guilty because she doesn't feel like she parented right. Mm-hmm. And none of us are at fault.
No.
But we can't help feeling that way.
Sure.
And at first it was kind of like, it didn't sink in that she wasn't coming back. It took a long time. I mean, probably a year maybe before it sunk into me that, because I was 13,
Sure.
that she's not coming back. And
yeah, well, even though
no,
logic tells you
I was 13 years old, and I didn't have that logic.
Sure.
Can't grasp it.
Yeah, you can't grasp it. And even when we found out that that they found her,
mm-hmm.
It was the most bizarre feeling I'd ever felt in my life, because in my head, I knew she was gone, but in my heart, there was still hope. And then when I found out they found her, that hope was gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was
35 years later.
I was an adult. I was 40, however many years old. And I'm just now realizing that my sister is never coming back.
Mm. And that was,
And I know that sounds bizarre, but it was relief and absolute sorrow at the same time.
Yeah. To give you an idea how illogical thinking was, even clear through the time, when Kenny Bass called Angela and told him that he had been granted permission to see, to talk to Marcana.
And this was 2018, correct?
Yeah, we were at the beach actually for Thanksgiving.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And so Angela told me, and I says, well, I've got to go home. And that is just so illogical, to want to do that, because I could do nothing back here. What I needed to be doing was with my family.
Well, I'm sure the anxiety is through the roof of you just wanting to know. So how do you do that? You get closer to the situation.
Yeah.
So that's natural.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's,
I got a marker for Leslie. I wanted to make it big enough that everybody would see it, so they couldn't miss it. I mean, it's taller than me. It's as tall as she was.
She had it. She had my sister's grave marker, headstone, whatever, made to the same height as my sister.
Oh, I have to go see it.
And she's buried up on top of the hill, overlooking our grandparents.
Oh, so it's like a family cemetery?
No, it's a Sunset Memorial
in South Parkersburg.
South Parkersburg.
And my uncle that she was so close to, he passed away, did not have a plot, and this is before we found Sissy.
Mm-hmm.
Mom had allowed him to be buried in her plot.
Well, Jim said we were up at the VA hospital in Morgantown.
Yeah.
And we were talking, and he says, I'm not coming out of here alive. He says, but the only thing, I don't have any place to be planted, is what he called it, to be planted.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, I have this plot. It's right beside of my plot. Jack's on this side. That's my husband. And here's me, and here's Leslie's plot. And I says, I don't know that we're ever going to be able to use Leslie's plot, but I'd be honored if you would be okay to be there.
Mm.
And so...
And Jim's the uncle, correct?
Yes, he's my brother.
Yeah, your brother.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're buried in the same plot.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, the Sunset people were kind enough to and my nieces were kind enough to allow us to
exhume.
He was cremated.
Yeah.
Sunset brought him up and then dug the plot for, the space for Leslie. And then we put Jim back in there, and they're buried together. They're not together, but they're in the same plot.
Oh, yeah. Well,
I mean, that's what families do.
What a beautiful, of course,
and
it's somber, but that's a beautiful thing.
Beautiful ending.
But just look at all of the help that we have had in order to just get us here. Yep. Say, yes, that's what you want. We can do that. I mean, what if Harry hadn't done it? What if Kenny hadn't done it? What if of all the things?
Yeah.
What if those things hadn't happened?
I mean, if one of those things didn't happen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's why I said, if one of those three people wouldn't have been in our lives, we still never would have had her back.
Yep.
Yeah. and then for Sunset and Jim's girls to say yes.
Mm-hmm.
We asked each one of them, and they all said yes.
Mm. What year did Jim die?
What was
it? Remember?
It was
okay. My husband, it was 2018. I think it's the same.
He died earlier that year?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He died
in the winter.
And then after that, they found Leslie.
Wow.
And my husband died in 2017. November 17th, 2017. I'll never forget that.
Mm. Whew. That's a crazy 2 years.
Yeah. My mom had a very rough 2 years.
Yeah.
On top of a very rough 35 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. Well, and then you, after she's gone, then you got to go through, you was talking about being down there for Thanksgiving and you feel bad for wanting to come back here and you just wanted to be with your family, but you got all these firsts that were happening after she was gone. So I always hear that's one of the hardest things is like
Christmas.
the next Christmas.
And
Christmases were so hard.
People that was saying, saying why does she have this big funeral for her daughter that's been gone all of these years? We needed it.
We did.
Yeah. I mean, I'm down for a parade. Like it's unfortunately very rare.
Yeah.
After all those years that something like that happens. I wish it was more, typical.
I mean,
but,
you just don't go to the FBI, Quantico and or wherever it is, and say, we need some help here on something,
Sure.
And then
the
get
FBI
them
was
to
amazing.
cooperate also.
Yeah. So the FBI was involved. Did you all get them involved?
No,
Or-
actually the prosecuting attorney's office got them involved. Or no, it was the Parkersburg Police Department.
Yeah.
Reached out to the FBI and got them involved.
And it was very complicated because
Very.
Here we had West Virginia and we had Ohio involved too. And it is,
And private property.
I think there was even discussions about jurisdiction. Was he maybe convicted in West Virginia where there should be a trial in Ohio?
Right.
From what he's saying, it could be that he.
He never said where it happened. He never said how he did it, where he did it, why he did it. The only thing we have is when he was drunk at a bar, shooting his mouth off to people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's the only.
I want to get into how they actually won the case because they won the case.
Yeah.
Thankfully.
Yeah.
And then they were it was affirmed later, like, hey, you were correct. So
There were 2 trials.
okay, let's walk through the first one. So when they decided to charge him, do you remember what evidence they had in particular? I know they only share a certain amount of things with the family because they don't want to mess the case up, but did you kind of know what they had? And did you?
Well, see, we had Dwight's testimony about him
the fight.
Kidnapping
breaking in the door and threatening them with that he was going to kill them. And
I have a hit out on you.
And then abducting Leslie from the house and taking her away.
Mm-hmm.
They had that.
Which is enough for me.
Yeah, they charged him with kidnapping and abduction and breaking and entering. There was multiple
everything like that, around, but nothing addressing that my daughter was missing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
well,
property
the
is
abduction,
more important.
No, the abduction and kidnapping was addressing.
Well, saying
that.
but they didn't have a body, so they didn't bring the
right. And one of the things that I want to tell people, sorry, Mom, that are families that are going through this, who are, they've got all this evidence. Why don't they charge them? They have one shot. And this is the way Harry described it to me. We have one shot. And we have to have all of our ducks in a row to make sure that not only can we get, a grand jury to agree to charge them, but we need to make sure that we have enough evidence, compelling evidence, to get them convicted. Because if we mess it up, you do not get another shot because of double jeopardy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So they went after the things that they had the hard evidence on, the breaking and entering, the something with a weapon, and abduction and kidnapping. They had the hard evidence for that. They did not have a body. And at that time, there had never been a conviction in West Virginia or Ohio for somebody who, for murder without a body.
Sure.
And actually, when he was convicted, that was the first time anybody in West Virginia or Ohio, from what I remember, that was convicted for murder without a body.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah. But it is, and worldwide, it is a thing.
Yeah, but in West
sure.
Virginia and Ohio. And actually, when I was, I can't remember if I was either still in nursing school or I had just graduated nursing school, and I was living in Hamilton, Ohio, and they had a husband who was on trial for murdering his wife, and a body wasn't and there was no body, and they actually mentioned Sissy's case, saying, that there is precedence now because of this case in West Virginia.
And I'll tell you, West Virginia, this is totally out of.
We are not very good about following a timeline.
You're doing so good. No, listen.
Sorry.
Yeah, you're doing perfect.
These people are probably going to have to take Dramamine.
When they Angela was living in Florida at the time, and my granddaughter was just a little baby, and so
she was like 6 months old.
Yeah, and so when it was the trial was here, and
second trial,
and she was to testify. Harry Ditzler bought 2 airplane tickets, one for her and one for Kathleen. And he said that's the first time he's ever bought an airplane ticket.
The prosecuting attorney's office,
that didn't testify in the trial.
Yeah.
Well, how nice.
He said, we can't ask you to leave your daughter at home. I'm like, yeah, because I wouldn't.
Yeah. Oh, so for the timeline's sake, the first trial was how long after 1983?
It happened in 85? I think it was like he was arraigned in like 84, maybe. I mean, it takes that long for them to get the evidence.
Oh, yeah. And then you got
the trial was, I think,
like 2 years.
Yeah, I think it was 2 years.
Or something in that
pretty
ballpark.
typical.
Right.
In that ballpark, but it seemed like forever.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There's one we got. It's going on year 3.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's a first-degree murder charge.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's frustrating. Frustratingly slow. So they get that first conviction. Mm-hmm. How long is he sentenced for?
He got life with mercy.
Life with mercy?
With mercy.
On the first one.
Probably because there's no body, and they were.
Well, it was because it was kidnapping. They didn't try him for murder. It was kidnapping and abduction, and they had one of those dropped. I can't remember if it was the abduction or the kidnapping. It may have been the kidnapping was dropped because they couldn't prove that it went across state lines or something. I can't remember what it was, but he got life with mercy, and then and we knew this all along. Mom and I knew this all along, that they were still gathering evidence. And Harry Ditzler said, we have this long to get our ducks in a row to charge him with murder before he's out of prison.
Right. That's when the with mercy would come into play.
Right.
Sure. And I hate the freaking mercy rule. I don't know how y'all feel about it. I can't stand it. I think asking juries to do that is completely ridiculous and we need to be done with it. It's like you did the crime. Here's the punishment. Let's get it done. But I mean, you know, that's
If it's life, you should be getting life.
yeah. I just, especially in cases of domestic violence, I have no sympathy.
No.
I have no
Do you
sympathy.
know-
I have notes.
Okay, perfect. Yeah.
I have
Do you know at the
notes.
time she was being abused, there were no laws in West Virginia about that.
I can believe it.
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
They probably
Didn't
had
come about the next year,
they probably had that law in place.
2017.
You remember when they
218.
used to talk about having that law in place where you can like beat your wife at the courthouse steps and stuff like that?
Yeah.
They probably still had that then.
No, it was
Yeah,
up until
it was.
in the 1970s. It was not only legal; it was socially accepted for a husband to strike his wife.
Yeah. They used to just take him to the Trans-Allegheny and just say, yeah, she's crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
can you take her? And they're like, yeah, sure. We do that all the time. You know,
Yep.
it's just nuts
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
depressing to think about. But,
Mhm.
all right. So the second trial, what evidence? There's testimony there too. Like he kind of blabbed that he shot her, correct?
Yeah, and at that
Okay.
time they had a couple of his buddies that were saying that
Yeah,
that
he confessed to them.
Did they come forward and give
Yes.
that information?
They testified against him.
Well, I mean, did they reach out to like, hey, y'all, I've been holding this information for a while, or did they?
No, they didn't hold it for all. They told him like in the beginning.
Oh, they did in the beginning. So that
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
So they had that
So that was something
Gotcha.
in the back pocket.
in the arsenal. Yeah, in their back pocket.
So they were trying to, you know, I'm assuming to find the body was the big thing, and something like that. There would be a smoking gun.
and to have enough time. What Harry told me was they wanted to show enough time from the time she was taken until now to prove that she's not coming back.
Got it.
She
No
has a
one's hurt.
4-year-old son that she would never leave. Has a close relationship with her mother. She had never been away from the house more than 24 hours, maybe 48, without calling my mom.
Mhm.
She would, a teenager, she'd get mad. She'd run off to a friend's house, but she'd always call and say, Mom, I'm okay. I just needed time or whatever.
Sure.
So it was time and lack of her being around.
Gotcha.
and no trying to contact
Anybody.
to
No activity on social security number, no activity on,
Yeah.
IDs, nothing.
And I'm assuming Dwight was brought back for that one too.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay,
He
so
was.
all of this stuff culminated into painting a pretty vivid picture. And now you got people saying, like, yeah, he said he shot her.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that was, what year was that?
Is that what? 7
It was-
years.
No, it was, I can tell you when it was.
Okay.
Kathleen was born in 97.
Okay.
And it was, she was a few months old, so it would have been in 1998.
Got it. So 98, was it a pretty quick verdict? Like how long
It was,
the trial?
they were out
didn't
long
take
enough
very
to eat lunch.
Gotcha. Okay. So everyone knew, like, yeah, this dude did it. All right.
Mhm.
Yeah, we went to lunch and and we know more than now. See, I heard somewhere where they said that it was 3 hours, but it wasn't 3 hours. I mean, literally,
No.
they recessed to go. They rested the case. Harry took us to lunch at whatever deli is on Market Street or wherever, and he was paying the bill, and he got a call said that the verdict is in.
Gotcha.
And they even said, that they took long enough, so they got a free lunch.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Good deal. So guilty
on all counts.
on all counts. Well, how many counts? What did they charge him with the second time exactly? Was it just first degree
It was
murder?
first degree murder. I thought there was it was just one.
Yeah.
The first one was all counts. Yeah, first degree murder.
First degree murder. So guilty and then
Without mercy.
life without mercy.
Life without mercy.
And it's not concurrently, it's consecutively with the other sentence, right?
Right.
Okay.
And before they rested the case, Harry with our permission, well, Mom, but she conferred with me, offered, you tell us where she is and we will take life off the table. And I think Harry said he laughed at him and said no.
Because the narcissist thinks like, they ain't going to convict me for this.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't touch me.
Yeah, exactly.
He laughed and said no.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, I mean, he's just.
Yeah.
I don't even know how I'd feel. It's like,
I mean, we
this
were that
point, 35
desperate.
years later, I mean, obviously you hate this dude. I don't think I hate him any less.
No, I don't.
After he would
actually, I despise him. Okay. I despise him more. And my mom is the bravest woman, the most compassionate person I have ever met. She is my hero. And she has told me more than once that she has forgiven him. She will never forget what he did. She says, but you cannot carry hate in your heart. And I can honestly say that man is the only person on this planet that I hate. And I had a really bad marriage before that I should hate him, but I have no feelings for him. I am upset as can be. Well, no, I guess I do have a little bit of hate for him because of what he put my daughter through. But
it's
Mark Hanna, it's totally different. Mark Hanna.
So, sure, yeah. I mean, a divorce is different than like someone no longer being on this planet because of someone else. He could selfish. And to clarify, Mary, you're the best in the room. That's the way you should be, is like letting it go, because that is a heavy weight. But at the same time, like, I'm like you. If someone done that to me, I'm like, no, I just can't. I can't have any sympathy.
In spite of anything, though, even to this day, I don't want him to ever have a chance to do this to somebody else.
Sure, yeah.
Not another individual, not another mother, not another sister, not another daughter.
Yeah, and even when we said that we would take life off the table, we both agreed that every time he came up for parole, we would be up there and we would be the loudest people in the room.
Right.
We would do everything we could to keep him in prison.
Yeah.
We never said that we wouldn't object his release, so,
So he got real letter happy. Has he sent you any more letters? Or are you still getting? Okay.
Not anymore. No, I think I've moved enough that he doesn't.
Sit back the microphone. You need to talk.
Oh no. Okay.
We've moved enough that he can't keep track of us, I think.
Yeah, I think we're good with that.
Well, good deal. Yeah, there's no need to.
And this is the first time. Well, no, the interview with Kenny Bass. After she was returned, that was the first time I think that I was okay of him seeing my face, knowing my name, after I've been married, because he has no more power over us.
Heck yeah. Yeah. Oh, man. So he's in there, till he dies, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
And
there is no chance of him getting out.
Yeah. And but he's still appealing it, trying to say, say he didn't do it. Which is, not hilarious, but it's kind of funny. It's like, well, dude, come on, let's just be done. But what else are you gonna do besides like trade Tic Tacs for Doritos? Wherever he is, like, or play dominoes or whatever. All right, so that gets done. We already walked through you all finding. Us finally finding Leslie. You have your ceremony. That was in 2018.
And we had her funeral.
Yeah. And the funeral, did you have a good turnout?
Yes.
It was pretty good.
Good deal.
Yes, it was pretty good. We had, even her friends from grade school,
Mhm.
from Lubeck School. Some of them were there. I was back at work later, and here came a young man walking into my office. He was holding a vase of tulips.
Mm.
Tears running down his face. From Lubeck School, first grade. He says, "I'm sorry, I was out of town and I didn't know, but I wanted you to have this." The vase of tulips.
Oh.
And actually, a guy I went to school with, I have to give him a shout out. Keith McClung.
Yeah.
He owns Crown Florals in Parkersburg. If you need flowers, go see them.
Shout out, Keith.
He donated the flowers that went on my sister's casket because I asked him. I said, "How many daisies can you get?" And he's like, "What do you mean? How many do you need?" And I explained it to him. And he not only, all the daisies he had, all the daisies he could get. I couldn't even count all the daisies, and he donated it.
How nice.
Mm-hmm. That was a tearjerker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's sweet how people come together like that. And
Yeah,
a lot of people came together during this whole thing. It's kind of the story of West Virginia.
Takes a village.
So many people
Mm-hmm.
all together. They made everything happen and make it all come together and have my first baby girl.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
Man, I made it through and I'm not sobbing.
Y'all are doing great. So one reason I mentioned, which we mentioned a couple times, I thought this was really important too, and I'm so glad y'all decided to do it, is because there's a lot of people still waiting out there,
and
I wanted to give you a chance
there's families in Parkersburg.
Mm-hmm.
I can think of 2 families in Parkersburg. One of them finally got somebody arrested for their murder. Is Cindy Ball.
Oh, yep, Cindy Ball, yep,
and Gretchen.
Yep.
His family is still waiting.
Yeah, Gretchen's dad passed away,
and his grandmother and her grandmother.
Sad.
Yeah,
that was so
young.
sad. I said,
Mm-hmm.
I told Angela about it, and she says, "I know."
Yeah. My husband and I went out and were looking for her at Mountwood Park, and he's like, "Why do you want to go?" And I said, "Because I know what it feels like." And he says, "But you don't know these people?" And I said, "No, but I know what it feels like."
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
What would you like to say to the other families you may haven't talked to on how, how do you even offer advice for something like this, or just what?
Just never give up.
Never give up. And if you don't feel like you're being put in the loop, reach out to law enforcement. They are there for you. They are not only there for your family member or loved one, they're there for you. And they're human. They make mistakes. I called out the police department and the prosecuting attorney's office when something came on the news and there was an insinuation that it may be my sister's remains. And this was years after. I mean, this wasn't Harry Ditzler that was there. That was Pat LaFaber, I think is how you pronounce it. And they're great. He was great too. He was instrumental in getting Sissy brought back as well. And they're human. And they said, you're right. I'm sorry. It wasn't supposed to be aired, but from now on, we will definitely keep you guys in the loop.
That's good. That's good.
Do and be the squeaky wheel. Keep your loved one in their radar. If there was a prosecuting attorney that you connected with, a deputy that you felt or detective that you felt you had a good rapport with, keep talking to them. I was reconnected with Harry Ditzler when I was in my 20s and living in Charleston. He recognized me. He said, I didn't know if you would remember who I was. And I said, oh yeah, I remember who you are. And after that, I got Christmas cards every year. I would mail him a card and just to find out what was going on. One year, it was pretty close to when we got her back. I said, because I was scared that he would find out where I was and send me letters like he sent my mom,
right,
harassing me.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, if I write him a letter, do you think it'll do any good? And will you deliver it? And he says, you never know. And yes, I will. And Mom asked me why didn't you write the letter? And I said, because as long as I didn't write the letter, I still had hope that if I write a letter, he'll tell me. But if I wrote the letter and he never told us, I would no longer have that hope. So never give up hope. Keep your loved one, out there in their mind, and pray. Have faith. Yes, not everybody's going to get the outcome that we did. Mm-hmm. Fortunately, not everybody's going to have to wait as long as we did. But just keep at it.
Love it. Yep. That's all you can do. I don't know. And so many people go the contrary direction. They just, their life, they just become a shell of who they were, So I'm just curious. Did you notice your mom change after this?
We all changed.
Y'all changed, yeah.
The summer that she was taken, like the rest of that year, Mom said we just all kind of huddled on the couch together. Mm-hmm. She was afraid to let us out of her sight. I was afraid that he was going to come after me because I had heard things. I knew that he abused her, and I was afraid that he thought I knew something and he was going to hurt me because he'd already creeped me out once.
Sure, yeah.
And Mom got a therapist for Joey, a therapist for her, a therapist for me. I think I coped with it the best out of the three of them because I was older than Joey and I wasn't her mother.
And I think what really helped you is
my friends,
your little four musketeers.
Mm-hmm.
I had three best friends. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
in the on 45th Street, right there was her core.
Mm-hmm. Walk to each other's house and all that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Kids, yeah.
And everybody had three moms.
Yep. And
those are the best neighborhoods.
Well, three bonus moms. And
yeah.
Mom said that she was talking to her therapist, and I don't remember the exact wording, but she said that the therapist said that you have two other kids depending on you. Mm-hmm. So only dedicate a third of your time for Sissy.
Yep. So you took Joey?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. He was, yeah. And, poor little thing. And
she waited 7 years to have him declared legally dead.
Small. I mean, he hadn't been maybe above 5 years old.
Mm-hmm.
He was 4.5.
Yeah. I don't even think he was 5 years old.
No,
yet
he wasn't.
When he says, now that Mommy's gone, what do I call you? Because I was his grandmother. And that still breaks me up. I says, Joey, I don't want to take your mother's place. You only have one mother. And you only have me for a grandmother. I said, please just call me grandmother. my grandma.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what he's always called me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Where's Joey at now?
Arizona.
He's Big Joey now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Here's
Starting then, I realized how strong my mom was.
Right.
You know, and I would say after like first few months, you know, that the rest of that year, she kind of got her feet underneath of her and she just kept on going. I never felt like there was anything wrong. Like I always felt safe.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I didn't have to worry. I didn't have that worry of dread. It's just because mom was there.
Sure.
Mommy, put your phone down.
oh, honey.
She's busy. Yeah, you go right ahead. That's all right.
I got grandkids to look.
Yes, she does. Oh my gosh. She, you know, family's deep in West Virginia.
Oh,
Love
yeah.
is deep. So.
Oh, yeah. Well, rest in peace to Leslie.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I know her a lot more today. So thank you for sharing everything.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything we're missing before we sign off? I know, you know, if you're going through domestic violence out there, please, let's do something about it. Get out of the situation safely and
right.
Whatever you can do. I think, you know, making a plan's a big one. Having people you trust in your life. There's also some resources if you're going through domestic violence that you can reach out to. But definitely take it serious because there are some scumbags out there.
I do have something to say.
Sure. Yeah, go ahead.
Statistically, I did a lot of research. We've come a long way since 1970. The first laws on domestic violence came 11 years after my sister was taken. The first, other than my sister, the first time I remember hearing about domestic violence was the TV movie, The Burning Bed.
Oh, yeah.
And I did some research on it. It's based on a book by the same name. And it was written in 1980. And it was made into a made-for-TV movie in 1984.
Mm-hmm.
Statistically, 1 in 3 women and 1 in 10 men will be a victim of domestic violence to some degree in their life. So, girls, women, if you're sitting in the room with 2 of your best friends, statistically, 1 of you is or will be a victim. Nobody thinks that they're going to be a victim of domestic violence, but statistically, it'll happen. You may not need the information for you, but you may need it for your best friend, your sister, your mother, your neighbor. The National Coalition for Domestic Violence has a great website, has a list of resources, but the main things that I want to tell you is have your own money. If you don't feel like you can keep it where your husband or significant other will find it and get upset with you, you give it to your mother, you give it to your best friend. You bury it in a tin can in your backyard because you never know when you need to get out or one of your friends needs to get out. And I don't know the numbers of all or the names of all of the domestic violence shelters, but in Parkersburg, it is the Family Crisis Intervention Center. There is, for lack of a better term, an underground railroad that they can get you out of that situation and into a place where the perpetrator cannot find you or your kids. Mom and I actually started talking about starting a foundation in my sister's name, in hopes of like filling in the cracks of what's needed. Yeah. Domestic violence shelters not only take you, they take your kids, they take your pets. If you're a man that's being abused, they will take you too. The men are in a separate area so that the women do not feel threatened by a man, just the presence of any man. Mm-hmm. If you are a manager in a clothing store, if you own a clothing store, your damaged goods that may have a pick or a missing button, instead of throwing them in the trash, or if you have overstock, donate them to a domestic violence shelter. Not just women's clothes, kids' clothes, babies' clothes, young men's clothes, because there's teenage boys that their mom's being abused and they need to get out. If you're purging and you have cookware, dishes, household, any furniture, anything, contact your local domestic violence shelter. If they don't need it, they will get you in contact with one that does, because these women and these children are leaving their homes in the dead of night with the clothes on their back. And that's it. Toys too.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love you mentioned, men getting abused too, because we have this stigma of like, it's only women. Like there's men out there.
10%.
Yep. They've been, and there's been cases where they've been murdered as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so definitely no stigma there when it comes to this show, indeed. And the number for the Family Crisis Intervention Center in Parkersburg is 304-428-2333, and their website is fcichaven.org. We'll put it in the description so y'all can get there easy. So it's not only, missing your sister, it's carrying her memory on and doing good work, because you're well prepared with this information. So I can tell this has been a part of you for a long time.
Yeah.
So it's important to talk about, and thank you for continuing and not giving up.
Mm-hmm.
This gives a lot of people hope, and
never, ever, ever, ever give up.
Never, ever. Daggone it.
Dadgummit.
Yep. Well, thank you all. Anything you want to say, Mama, before we're done? I think we're good.
Oh, there's one more thing.
Sure, yeah, go right ahead.
Contact your local representative. There is a national registry for domestic violence offenders, just like there is, they're starting one, just like there is for sex offenders. West Virginia reported 0 cases to that registry. They need to get involved. Women need to be able to find out if the person that their daughter is dating is a crazy dude or not.
Can I say Jack? I don't know. I mean, wow.
Yeah. You need to know. Moms need to know
yes.
if their daughter's in danger.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And then with the internet now too, like a lot of creepers around.
Yep. And in West Virginia, in order for it, unless it involves like severe, injuries, domestic violence is a misdemeanor for the first 2 offenses.
Is it?
Yes. Unless it's the person winds up in the hospital. It's not a felony until after the 3rd conviction. Right.
So if they put them in the hospital, they'll still...
Yeah.
Okay, so that's assault.
Yeah.
Or I don't know how the actual...
It's assault and assault is verbal, threatening. Battery is...
We get weird with these laws sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's still, someone gets caught with like a little bag of pot, and then they're in jail for, weeks till someone bails them out.
Mm-hmm.
We're still doing that.
Not as though you know anybody that uses pot, though.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
No.
Right. Oh, yeah. I mean, no. I mean, I don't know what to say. Hey, listen, medical's legal in West Virginia,
yes,
but you can't get your daggone firearm. You can't get a firearm with it.
Right.
Yeah.
Which, and me being a nurse, I am perfectly fine with that.
Are you okay with it?
Unless you need it for glaucoma. I mean, that's different. And actually, it does help with the eye pressure.
Fine with the medical side of it. Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. I thought you meant, because to me, like having the medical side, I mean, there are a lot of medical benefits for it. Like, why can they not have a firearm, though, but you can be an alcoholic and have a firearm, which we have evidence that that's a really big issue.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what's the difference here? What are we doing?
If you're committing a domestic violence,
right.
You cannot have a firearm.
They're supposed to take the firearms away from you.
Oh, are they? Okay.
After your first offense.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
It falls under the Brady Bill, Brady Act.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, Mama, got anything to say?
I think my daughter's the smartest person.
You know, y'all are both smart. You're an accountant, too. That's hard. I mean, in the 80s, being an accountant's like a rocket scientist. Like, it's pretty impressive. All right, y'all. Well, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
everyone.
you for your time.
Yeah, no.
Everything.
This is the least I could do. I'm just glad I get to meet you.
God dang. Yeah, and you too.
Yeah.
Better than seeing your picture on the podcast.
Yeah, just running my mouth on Facebook. I'm real.
Yeah. We were talking on the way down here, and one of the things I said was, I wonder how tall he is.
I'm pretty average, like 5'11" and a half. I try to say 6 foot, but I'm just not.
Okay.
You know, maybe one day.
Well, we'll give you.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
I say 6 foot. Like I put it on my license and everything. I'm like, I'm 6 foot tall.
Yeah, they can't do fractions.
I know, right? Well, cool. Well, thank you all, everyone out there. Before you leave, be sure to like this video, subscribe to Creepalachia on YouTube if you haven't. If you're listening on Apple or Spotify, take a minute and leave a review. That'll really help the show be found. And if, you're going through domestic violence, look in the description. We got some resources tagged there that can help you out. And if you like fictional stories, we tell them all the time, but we also do Patreon exclusive stories. So if you want to get your name in the credits and support the show there, head on over. But everyone else, always remember, above all else, long live Appalachia and rest in peace, Leslie Marty.